How y'all feel about the Gillie and Wallo shit talking to Kodak? Real quick. I just want to throw that out real quick before we start talking about Mike Tyson and anything else.
I heard about it. I ain't see it.
I watched it. Mixed emotions, I guess. I think it's dope. I think that once you introduce like the content piece, it becomes
not real. Almost
performative
a little bit.
Yeah, potentially. But I think ultimately it's a dope conversation.
I think Wallo's intentions are always in the right place when it comes to these things.
Yeah, he has a history of it, right?
I see the jokes going around where it's like, usually once
there's jokes to be made.
Yeah, it
once
is.
Wallo show up, that's like the Grim Reaper.
It's like getting the key to the city.
Yeah, that's like you got 24 hours to live. Just think. When Wallo is 0 for 99 in these talks. So I'm with the jokes.
Yeah, just jokes.
I also do believe that Wallo has enough equity built up to whereas he's genuine. I do think you can be genuine and performative.
Yeah.
Like it feels the Dirk one to me. Dirk stopped by the pod. Wallo had that talk. Young Thug stopped by the pod. Wallo had the talk. Anytime I've seen them have this talk, they stopped by the pod. Them going to you.
Well, the Dirk one. I think they went to Dirk.
Throw it on the last.
No, but it was on their pod.
It was still a podcast.
that was out there though.
It was on
It was still a
pod. It was
podcast.
on their podcast.
I get it.
As opposed to being like outside.
As opposed to just an independent piece.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're in the parking lot. Throw these lavs on. Let me
Now,
talk to you.
now a piece may be coming from this.
Right.
Maybe they did a sit down. I don't know. But all we saw so far is this standalone piece. And listen, I'm not knocking. I'm really glad that we have Gillie and Wallo to go do that. Whether it's performative or not, somebody needed to do it.
Yeah. It needs to continue to do it, by the way.
I like that role. I like that role for them.
Yeah.
And who better? You know what I'm saying? Like I think Wallo's the perfect person because a lot of times people don't want to hear it when it's coming from somebody because like you didn't live this or you don't really know what you're talking about. You can't say none of that to Wallo.
Nor Gillie, who lost.
Nor Gillie,
yes,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but you can't say that to them. They are I can speak to y'all. Like when they say they're the voice of the trenches, they say that for a reason.
And I ain't gonna front, man. When we was all watching whatever fight that was, and the fight almost broke out between all them niggas in the crowd, that was Wallo and them in there trying to diffuse things.
Yeah.
So, but the joke's gonna fly.
Yeah.
And do y'all think that Kodak actually
listen?
That's the problem. That's the real problem. A lot of times these younger dudes are not going to listen. Me and Jay Wan were having a conversation earlier about that. It's a different world. So it's like, yeah, I hear you, but you don't know what it is like out here today. Your time was your time, so you're speaking. You can't speak to whatever it is that's happening right now because it's just not your world. And that's just a young mentality. I've gotten game from older people in my family and just homies that later on down the line, you be like, damn, such and such was saying that. And then it might click years later. But in that moment, it's like, bro, I'm whatever age and you 20, 25 years older than me, you don't know what's going on right now. Like, shut up. I ain't trying to hear it. And when you young, not saying Kodak is that young, but a lot of the young ones, you think you know everything. That's it. Can't nobody older than me tell me nothing, even though they lived through it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the killer piece to me. Like all of us, I'm sure. I ain't grow up with everybody in here, but all of us, I'm sure, had an older person telling you the do's and the don'ts, and where they fucked up, and they telling you from experience, and you just thinking, you made that left.
Yep.
I ain't gonna make that left. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like that's why drugs. Like I ain't never really fuck with drugs like that when I was young because I saw what it did to other people. A lot of people try drugs for the first time thinking that it ain't gonna do that to me. You get what I'm saying? And it was that once they had that shit a couple times, it was over. I think it's a similar situation. Like a lot of times you be in the street, you smarter than everybody, you could do it better, you could do it different, and it's not gonna get me. And I think that's what happens. But you gotta salute them niggas for trying to steer them on the right path. For sure.
Yeah.
Still need it.
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. Shout out to Gillie, Wallo. Shout out to Kodak as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
New Joe Budden.